Hello everyone, I'm the Soloist and welcome back to some more Danganronpa. I have fucked up my little carpet, hold on. And then I go and smack the nonsense out of my mic. I'm so good. Alright, let's get this trial going. Okay. There's a lot of skills I don't have, and it's definitely from people that I just didn't talk to well. Because I'm sure you can get exactly 15 skills.
If you can figure out,
I know how it fucking works. No, we know.
Okay, well,
No, we know.
I'll leave the rest.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim.
Yeah, let's get into it,
We need to
Byakuya.
clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
Are you actually a
But Kyoko's
dumbass?
standing right there.
No, that's a ghost.
But she has legs and stuff.
Not all ghosts are just wispy at the waist, the
that's
fuck?
just because
Because what?
it's like
Say it.
latest evolution in ghost technology.
Oh my god. How has no one
There's a
murdered this
limit to
guy?
how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right? Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Her traits?
One important trait Kyoko has that proves the body doesn't belong to her. I would say Kyoko's gloves.
I'm talking about.
Oh
her
yeah,
gloves.
I'm so good.
They'll give us some insight into the mystery.
Oh, he's
I'm sure
talking about her hands.
In that
He's
case,
just
I think
stupid.
it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
You are one of two people that know outside of her. What do you mean? I'm going in hard in the paint. We've only been here 3 minutes and I'm already yelling at
happen to know
people.
the answer?
In
Yes,
fact,
actually.
Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Oh, you know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
They probably
Correct.
just got burnt up in the explosion. I'm not
They were
convinced.
never there.
The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
Please stop talking. There's no way that corpse was Kyoko. But if I can't prove why, we're gonna be stuck here and the case won't move forward. So I don't have any choice but to... Make your argument. Tattoo on the right hand, exploded body analysis, fake nails.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
No, he's wrong.
Take this, hero. Cough
No.
right into the mic.
There's no way the corpse was wearing gloves.
Oh, yeah.
Whoever
Keep
it
my...
was, they were wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails, don't you think?
We're making assumptions, but he's right.
You don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
Okay, hero, you don't know
Anyone doesn't
women.
know women, it's you.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's what I said.
Any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Yeah, but we had to convince some
Okay,
people,
so then,
Byakuya.
Who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
Before anything, we have to identify the victim. Everything starts from there. I hope one of these just says Mukuro Ikusaba.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Well, if we can't identify the body...
No, it's wrong.
I'm just so good. I'm so good right now.
There was
This-
one
this
clue
ep-
left
this stream's
behind
just
that
gonna
we
be the
can
trial.
use to identify the body.
What? For real? If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
Cruel and unusual death. This I gotta see.
You've seen like 4 of those.
Stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog?
It is a wolf.
Must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
Having that be one of the lines that's spoken by the voice actor is so funny.
Seriously? They really did something that humiliating?
No.
No, they
that's not
didn't.
it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Oh, really?
Yes. If you compare the tattoo to other information we have, the victim's identity should become clear.
I got it! The Fenrir Mercenary
I didn't know if that was the
Corps.
right one.
That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
The image that represents Fenrir is... Oh yeah, time to go in his psych ward because he's stupid and can't remember simple words. Wolf. I gotta remember how to do this one. No, give me that W! Whoa. Whoa. Wolf. Wolf. That's what I imagine the inside of his head sounds like right now. Just wolf.
The representation of Fenrir
Sounding
is
it out.
a wolf.
Fenrir, the wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf beast.
I kind of forgot she would know
He's the
this.
child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Man, after all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
A wolf tattoo. And that means...
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf. Which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a cool-ass trial?
Because she's clearly not the mastermind, dummy, or else she wouldn't be dead.
It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But
Thank
I
you,
mean,
Byakuya.
Being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place. After all,
She's the ultimate
looking at her
mercenary.
profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier.
Or soldier, whatever.
If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
Oh shit.
Who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time? And when she finally turns up, she gets killed. Usually when
Incorrect.
there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character? Which would
No,
mean
she was.
the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
Maybe because every other piece of information she's ever presented has been correct. Are you
The information
insane?
was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
Nope. There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then one of us killed Mukuro?
Are you stupid?
Who's the killer this time?
You still have an
Get a hold of
unaccounted...
yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
If he says my name, I'll punch him.
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
Based on what we know, there can only be 2 suspects.
Shoot!
He didn't even say that one aloud this time.
I got it! You've narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
You know what he sounds like? An idiot. No, he sounds like he's supposed to be reading off the cards of, like, questions for a contestant to read in, like, a game show.
The gym?
That's right. The 4 of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time, we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the 4 of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
I forget she wears a skirt at times. The angles don't really show it. So the only suspects now are me and Kyoko. Damn it. I can't let this stand. Somehow I have to clear my name.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Yeah, it's a trial. Shut up.
Before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at... Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I
No.
guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but
No.
what time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? And she went to go get the pickaxe.
After 9 o'clock. So what time is the body discovered?
I got it! The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m. since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
I'm so good at remembering. Now then, Toko, what time is it? Well, when we left the gym, it was just before 9 o'clock, so it's probably 9 on the dot now. Okay, go get the pickaxe and be back here by 9:01.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me,
Incorrect.
I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around... Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
Except, the murder happened between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m., and I don't have an alibi from 10 p.m. till 7:30 a.m. Okay, then it looks like the game has begun. If I can't provide an alibi for that period, then I just have to prove the murder didn't happen during the time I don't have an alibi. To do that, I have to make it clear when the body ended up in the garden. Make your argument. The sprinklers! That's gonna be the thing I need to focus on.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep. And Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
Oh, my bad. Come on, Makoto, don't scare me like that. That's on me. I lost a whole heart?
It took place somewhere between...
Not a half?
Yep. And
Yeah, from to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
Wait.
We've established a time frame. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night.
No,
Oh. I had to destroy his statement? That's stupid.
actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on. I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
No,
Sorry,
just the top
Toko,
half.
but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew such indecent words?
No, I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean? By denying the sprinkler, are you trying to deny my entire existence?
Man, you're totally wacko.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
I need to prove that it wasn't the sprinklers that got the body wet. All I have to do is hit Toko with certain evidence, and that should do it. If we look at the body itself, that should make it clear. Oh, I'm about to... Oh, yeah. I don't remember how to do this section.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no!
I was hitting the wrong buttons.
I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! How can you say it wasn't the sprinkler?
This should prove it.
Oh, take that, Toko!
Just remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers.
Shout out to me having to breathe really hard through my nose
The
right in
top
front of the
half
mic.
The body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac! I'm so sick of her.
Let's just move on. The reason
Correct
only
choice.
the top half was wet was because while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Byakuya looks so funny standing there.
Then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
An hour and a half time
I
period.
was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no
Correct.
way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
True. Kyoko's the only one without an alibi, which would mean that Mukuro's killer is... No, I refuse to believe it.
I'd
Kyoko
just
murdered
like to
someone?
say
That's...
one thing. If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
So are you
Huh?
saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
We're this far into the game and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
She thought
She
Mukuro
did?
was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial. Something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient. The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
Oh, the tarp. A certain something at the scene was used to cover the body? Could it have been... the tarp?
You're talking about the
Holy
tarp,
shit,
aren't
I only
you?
have 3 hearts?
You catch on quick.
When did I fuck up so hard?
You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Why would Kyoko say that? Why would she want to make me look like the killer? No, I can't think about that right now. That tarp. If it was used the way Kyoko said, that tarp must have touched the body, right? But the body...
Wait, something's not right.
And what might that be?
I can't worry about Kyoko's motivations. If I don't do something, everyone's gonna think I'm the killer. I have to refute what Kyoko said. Make your argument.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side was the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
I remember the blood on the body hadn't dried yet. Byakuya even warned us not to touch it to avoid getting any blood on us.
The killer prevents.
So the reason that it's because the spring, but the underside, it was totally spotless. It's because that side was protected from the. Since it was facing, of course it didn't get dirty.
Oh, shiza.
By covering the body, the killer prevents.
So the reason the tarp, because the spring, but the underside of it was totally. It's because that side was, since it was facing down.
Of course it didn't get dirty.
No, that's wrong.
There we go. Please give me half a heart back, please. Thank you.
Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh,
Got a fair point.
yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
Huh? The blood was
What if,
camouflage?
after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
The nurse's
They
office.
could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office. That's what
Yeah,
he fooled
literally.
you, right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time. The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
Oh my god, the dead chicken. Oh shit. Oh,
I got it!
I forgot about the chicken.
Chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens. But after the murder, there were only 4.
Shit, I didn't think about that.
Someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
Killing a
It really
living
is.
thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
I wonder
Don't keep
if the
speaking.
killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense.
I like his fit. I don't talk about that. I haven't talked about that at all in this game, but I like
You said the
Byakuya's
culprit
fit.
used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
No, I was
I
backwards.
think so.
No, the fuck it wasn't.
Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
They're
Here's
wearing
what
it backwards.
The murder took place before the sprinklers went off. But the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body, the coat they'd already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe. But still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
We still don't have one for her. And the suspicion falls back on me again. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand.
Well then, looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
Oh,
Oh god, no.
See? Pretty good idea, right?
no, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
I was hoping you would
Stuck
forget.
in the body before it exploded, right? According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back. So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before. That's what
No,
I
you
thought
haven't.
when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Listen, more important. Now that we have the knife, what are we gonna do with it? We can't let Toko keep it, that's for sure. We don't know what she might do. I don't want it anyway. So what to do? Why don't you hang on to it, Makoko? Makoko? Oh my god, I'm stupid. Makoto. Huh? Me?
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah,
Then why did you hide that fact?
it's not that I hid it. It's just...
I couldn't be sure of what actually happened last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her. Sorry, I'm drinking tea.
Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced you did it. 12,000% convinced.
Considering everything up till now, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove that I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it?
Very true.
If he did have that knife before, that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once? That automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
Okay, I know which statement to refute.
The knife we found found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it?
If he did have that seals it. Just because I have that automatic.
Well, the stab is what killed her, right? So there's no question.
You took that knife and
Horrible
I missed. That's on me.
The knife we found, it's the same one. It really is, isn't it?
if he did have that seals it. Just because I have that automatic.
Well, the stab is what...
No, it's wrong.
Sometimes it's nice to
Wait,
listen all the way
hold
through.
on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her!
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So?
When we discovered the body,
Oh.
the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
The victim was stabbed twice in the same spot? No, there's no way that's possible. The exact condition of the body was written down for everyone to see.
I got it! The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. Totally forgot about that.
Yeah, you did, dumbass.
Was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing.
Sorry, the shot of Toko flying is still so funny.
The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kind of goes back to the beginning, but what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if
He's
you're
got a
so
point.
Smart, just tell me.
He's gonna throw it at me.
I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic level spontaneous combustion!
I might
Don't
be
open your mouth
dumb,
again.
But even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead.
I respect
Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
There's only one explanation I can think of for the explosion.
I got it! After the explosion,
I didn't know which one it could be.
we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural. Because, of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Oh, then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway,
Yes.
the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Not true.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. it won't change the facts of the case regardless.
It's been a long 40 minutes. We need to determine what ultimately killed the victim. I need to concentrate. Make your argument. Monokuma file number 5. That's my only thing going into
Shall we
this?
continue the debate? The
Okay, yeah.
victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion
Correct.
didn't kill her for sure. Yes.
Correct.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't you because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
Oh, come on.
Shoot!
Then shall we continue? The victim's fatal...
The explosion didn't kill...
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't you. And then...
Oh, yeah.
I thought I needed to rebuttal his nonsense.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Oh, snap.
Then shall we continue? The victim's fatal injury has...
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Well, yeah. She was...
And it wasn't you. And then there...
Oh, yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed...
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Then shall we continue? The victim's fatal...
The explosion didn't kill...
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't you. And then there's only one other...
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
Oh, no.
Shoot!
Then shall
Why
we
can't I
continue?
find the contradiction?
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be...
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Well, yeah.
Oh, wait.
That's gotta be it.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. Yes.
Well, yeah. She was already told...
And it wasn't you because of the knife. And then there's only one...
Oh, yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that she...
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
I was trying something. I thought maybe if I counted countless wounds with countless wounds.
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Well, yeah. She was...
And it wasn't you because of the... And then there's only...
Oh, yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
Alright, I lost.
Shoot!
Is this really the end for all of us? I refuse to give up yet.
I don't know. I don't know what the contradiction is that I need to point out here.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. Yes.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't you because of the knife. And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
I'm just gonna throw things out there.
Then shall we continue? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be...
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. Yes.
Shoot!
Then shall we continue the victim's fatal injury?
The explosion didn't kill.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right?
Shoot!
Then shall we continue the victim's fatal
The
injury?
explosion didn't kill her.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't even.
Oh, yeah.
That's gotta be it.
There was evidence, and more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
Shoot!
Then shall we continue the victim's fatal...
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't even.
Oh, yeah. That's gotta be it. And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then shall we continue the victim's
Fatal injury has yet to be
determined.
The explosion didn't kill her for.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't even. There's a.
Oh, yeah.
That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
Oh, I lost again. I don't know what the fucking contradiction is supposed to be here. None of it makes sense right now.
Is this... I refuse to give up yet!
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't even.
Oh, yeah.
That's gotta be it.
There was... And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined.
The explosion didn't kill.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't even.
Oh, yeah. That's gotta be it. There was... And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
I wish there was, but I have to go grab water, so I'll be right back. Okay, I've been liquidated, and now I'm back.
Then shall we continue the debate?
The victim's fatal. The explosion didn't kill.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't even.
Oh yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then shall we continue?
The victim's fatal injury has yet.
No, it's wrong.
Suck it. I'm good. I'm not good. There's so much guessing went into this.
Because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon?
Well, I know that.
The file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe.
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power. I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to
She would.
scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground and spit on it.
Whoa.
I feel the same way. Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Seriously?
What?
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
The real murder weapon? Oh.
I got it! Mukuro was hit in the back
Oh, I'm
of the
so
head with something,
Gucci.
and that's what killed her.
Shout out to the one section where I fucked up continuously, though. Shout out to the 2 sections where I fucked up continuously, though.
And
Forgot
that
I already
something
failed
was
twice.
The
3 times,
titanium
maybe?
arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
Arrow. That's what the Cobra attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kinda weird.
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master? You have no right!
Oh, calm down, you horny
I'm
woman.
not talking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
I don't blame Hina for doubting it, because there's one more thing about that weapon. One more secret.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Talking back to Master.
Oh. I get
You
it.
have no right!
I get it. If it was just that titanium arrow, it wouldn't be nearly thick enough. Which is why they used
It was in the dojo. I have
the
no
tuck
doubt.
tape.
You don't sound convinced.
Well, it said the weapon must have been about as thick. It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
No!
Not if it's held together with other arrows. Here comes Makoto to scream in your face.
You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
Another weapon?
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled up wad of duct tape. The killer probably used this duct tape to bind multiple arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak,
but put them together and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Damn, that's harsh.
How is it harsh? Are you even listening?
Anyway,
He was not.
that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
Oh no, you absolutely have.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto? What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to the death
We
of
all
us
die.
all. Remember?
Of
I
course
remember.
I remember.
I remember it very
Show
well.
us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
I have evidence? Evidence that Kyoko went to the dojo. It must be connected to the dojo locker.
I got it! The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is right here. The key to the dojo locker.
And how does that prove anything?
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle. Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
No, it's not that I want to defend her. It's just, there's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something. Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I was just protecting you.
Oh,
What?
she's in love. She was protecting me? Then does that mean she knew I was being attacked? And she came to my rescue. Could that be when... Which would mean that Kyoko... She killed someone
That's enough.
for me?
The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Wait. I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know.
What? Byakuya should know better than anyone? What does that mean? Oh shit. Make your argument. When the body
Those
was
words
found.
you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But
Oh
could I
shit.
really have done that?
Wait. Kyoko gave her room key to Byakuya, right? Which would mean...
Those words you just spoke.
Oh
You
shit!
should understand.
I need that statement of hers because it doesn't mean a shit
You
about the body
stated
being
you
found.
said I hid the evidence of and then left the locker key in my own room.
But could I really?
She
have
couldn't
done
do that. She didn't have the key.
Those words you just spoke.
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone.
Byakuya,
Master would never hide something from me.
there's proof that you aren't the culprit.
Yeah, there is. It's the fact that you have the key to her room.
If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room
Why not?
because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
I see.
Indeed.
So that's what you meant.
Yeah, did you fucking forget?
I
Oh,
had the
wait.
key to your room.
Did he
Then
murder?
obviously, I had no way of getting in. Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself. Am I wrong?
It would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
No. That's not actually true. There's a clear contradiction in what Kyoko just told us. An obvious lie. But this just isn't like her. To try and save herself with such a desperate lie. Does she really feel that threatened? Because she's the killer? Or is it something else? Was there some deeper meaning hidden in what Kyoko said earlier? The mastermind's trap. The mastermind is trying to trap Kyoko? But what if that's not really true? What can I do? What should I do? What should I... The mastermind's trap. The victim was Mukuro, and Kyoko killed her. What does Kyoko really know? What am I supposed to do? Kyoko's lie. I'm the only one who knows it's a lie. I'm the only one who can expose it. But who can I trust? What am I supposed to do? The mastermind's trap. If you spend all your time trying to avoid danger, you'll never move forward. We know the danger, but if that risk means solving the mystery, we have no choice. Am I wrong? What do I do? I have to decide right here and now whether or not to expose Kyoko's lie. Don't fucking run away. No one you know. Maybe Mukubo's death was the friends we made along the way. I don't know why that's so funny to me. I'm gonna let it go. I've made my decision. I have to believe in Kyoko. There's no way she would kill someone. There has to be some secret here, something that has to do with the mastermind's trap that Kyoko
does no
mentioned.
one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact?
Yes.
I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose
Correct.
you have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room. That it was someone else.
But who else
Yes.
could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
That he's a weird little weasel man.
Alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of. Someone
Monokuma?
put the key on them, then once they arrived at the
Also,
scene,
I'm sorry.
pretended
Welcome
to
in.
find
Welcome
it
in.
there.
No one you know. Hehehe. There's a very distinct name.
It had to be Makoto, right?
Wait one fucking second.
I don't
They
see
throw it
any
back into me?
Wait a second.
Wait a minute.
You've got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
Huh? A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you? Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead, and then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said it's a trap the mastermind set for us. So that's why this has to be...
Okay, time's up!
What?
Time's up! Class trial's all over! Everyone can stop talking now!
What?
No.
What do you mean time's up? There's no time's up. Since when have we...
It's because you were late, so we had to push back the start time. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you!
Voting time?
That one C is actually gonna make me lose my mind. It's so funny over there. This C right here, so funny. 72 medals.
Now, who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? Hey, hold on! What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Oh, snap. Just straight to the vote? No. What? You think I'm the killer? Sorry, man. Yeah, sorry. It's all your fault. Everyone, you're wrong. You've got it all wrong. I didn't do it. Good job, everyone.
Yeah.
Good job. Yeah, they got it right. No, I know that's not true. None of this makes any sense. This whole trial doesn't make any sense. It makes perfect sense. It's the same as always. It's just like all the other class trials. And I'm gonna end it the same way.
Kills!
It's time for your heart-pounding, positively thrilling punishment. Wait, why do I...
I
Kyoko.
don't expect you to forgive me. I know this is all my fault.
What do you mean?
Let's
Kyoko?
give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
Excuse me? Not the conveyor belt. Not the instructional lesson showing me about how the conveyor belt works and what it's leading to. After school lesson. Oh. That man turned so pink. Alter ego? Monokuma looks very confused. Also, I'm falling head first. I think that'll kill me. Huh? Huh? What's this? What's going on? Hey, was that? Yeah, it had to be. Alter Ego. Alter Ego? Is this some stupid virus from that stupid guy? He must have planted it when he invaded my network. Damn it all to hell, I don't believe this. It seems you finally made a miscalculation. No, you miscalculated from the very beginning. What was that? What I'm saying is, you shouldn't have underestimated us. Why are you talking like you've already won? I barely felt a thing. It was a pinch, an itch. The stupid virus is gone now, got it? And so is Makoto. Maybe I didn't get to smash him flat, but you're never gonna see him again. To waste away in a garbage-thrown pit, in a way that's an even better special punishment. But it's still not enough. I'm still not satisfied. I'm still gonna bring despair to the rest of you. Bring despair to the entire world. Is he gone? Hey, Kyoko, what's the meaning of all this? Just what the hell is going on? It's okay. We're not the ones being trapped this time. Huh?
In other words,
Now it's the mastermind that's ensnared.
What did you say?
What are you talking about? You'll understand soon enough. Very soon indeed. Sorry, the music shift. The massive high school towers over all the other buildings in this bustling urban area. It's like the school stands at the center of the entire world. Are we at the fucking beginning again? Hope's Peak Academy. It brings in top students from every field imaginable. A government-funded school of privilege. They say that if you come here and manage to graduate, you'll be set for life. With hundreds of years of tradition, it sends the cream of the crop into the workforce every year. It was built to raise hope in the nation's future, which makes Hope's Peak a pretty fitting name. There are two things you need to attend this school. One, you have to already be attending high school. Two, you have to be the very best at what you do. No ordinary student could enroll here. The only way in is if you're scouted by the school itself. And standing there at the gate of the ultimate school filled with the ultimate students was me. Huh? What? Where am I? I woke up with my head resting on top of a hard wooden desk. My body felt heavy. It wouldn't be weird for me to zonk off in the middle of some boring class or whatever, but what was I doing asleep here just now? It wasn't any classroom I'd ever been in before. What the heck is going on? Finally. I could finally feel my mind and body start to come back together again. And then I was awake. Or was this just another dream? A dream inside a hopeless nightmare? No, this isn't a dream. I could tell because the stench invading my nostrils was too powerful for a dream. What an awful smell. I was in a vast, dark cavern with the barest hint of light seeping in. Trash was piled high all across the area. This must be some kind of underground garbage pit. A heck of a situation to find myself in. But that was just the beginning of my problems. Was I going to be stuck in there until I wasted away and died? No, I can't let that happen. Not for what my good friend went through to save me. I remembered all too well what had happened. Alter Ego saved me. And he used up the last little bit of his strength to do it. So I can't give up now. For myself and for my friend. And with that, my pursuit of survival began. First up was to start looking for a way out of there. Do you mean the door? Oh, am I allowed to look at this other stuff? Oh, cool. Real quick. That's a rocket in a tank. I'd better not think too much about what I'm seeing down here. This is a desk. It's probably the one that fell down here with me. Didn't you wake up at the desk? That's kind of funny. Is that an airplane? How'd something like that wind up in the school's garbage pit? How'd your school end up with a garbage pit, bud? It's locked. No matter how many times I pushed or pulled or kicked at it, it didn't budge. Getting out of here isn't going to be that easy. Well, if I'm not getting out of here anytime soon, I decided to look around for some food. There's plenty of food here, but it's all rotten. But that was pointless too. Next I searched for some water. How can I be sure which liquids I can drink and which ones are an all-around bad idea? Again, pointless. I feel like I'm blocked in on all sides. But that's still not enough reason to give up because I'm still alive. As long as I'm alive, I'll never give up. After making that proud declaration, the next thing I decided to do was go to sleep. My sleep was deep and uninterrupted. That was my only way to preserve what little strength I had left after not being able to eat or drink. I can't be sure, but I think at least a full day had to have passed. And all I did was sleep and sleep. It was like I was waiting for some kind of sign to come falling out of the sky. However, what fell from the sky wasn't a sign. Not exactly. What the? The strange sound pierced my silent isolation, jarring me awake. As I watched, the pile of garbage jostled and formed an odd shape. Did something fall down over there? Something fell from up above. What could it have been? I presume it to be this pile of garbage. Did a giant piece of trash just fall down here? I carefully stretched my hand out toward whatever it was that had tumbled down here with me.
Just a second.
Wait. A giant piece of trash? Rude. But before she even emerged from the pile of garbage, I knew who it was.
It smells awful.
The fucking cup of noodles!
Indeed.
Kyoko? You look like you're doing better than I expected.
So...
What are you doing here? Isn't it obvious? I'm here to help you. I'm glad to hear that, Kyoko. You've got a bit of garbage in your hair. She gave her head a quick, sharp shake to get rid of the trash, then faced me again. First, I have something for you. Go ahead and eat it. We can talk once you're finished. Thank you! I snatched the bread and water that she was holding out for me. Within seconds, it was in my mouth and making its way toward my stomach. Whew, that really hit the spot. Now I've got all the energy I need to keep going. So you still haven't given up, then? Of course not. After all, the fact that I can keep going forward is about all I'm good at. Well, that's not such a bad thing to be good at. But, Kyoko, why'd you come to rescue me? To pay a debt. Or, no, to atone.
You...
Atone? During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything. So, you
Indeed.
knew that I knew. But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you. I abandoned you. Don't say that. You didn't abandon me. No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. You were trying to save me, and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you. But listen, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but there was a reason that I had to survive, no matter the cost. Why did you have to survive? I'll tell you. I'll tell you everything. The reason I have to survive is so that I can do what I came to the school to do. What? I made up my mind to come to Hope's Peak Academy for one very important reason. So you have some reason for
Indeed.
coming to Hope's Peak? That's right. At least, I did. Once. Once? Until recently. I'd forgotten what it was. You forgot. But that's... I had no memory of what my purpose was. No memory? That's impossible. Amnesia? Then, is it really true? You lost your memory? Do you remember, Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at the school? The first thing? You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted, and when I woke up,
That's right.
I was trapped here. I fainted too, and when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself.
It would
A disconnect. Thinking back on it now, at that point my memory was gone. At that time, I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember why I'd come to this school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what would make you forget all that? Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems much too convenient. Are you saying you think you lost your memory because... I don't think. I'm positive it was the work of the mastermind. They stole my memory. But why would they want to do that? There's only one reason I can come up with. Because of my purpose and my ability. Somehow, they would interfere with the mastermind's plans. So the mastermind just stole them from you? And it could also mean, somehow, my memories may be connected to the mystery of this school and the mastermind, which is why I have to get them back. That's why I've been investigating things by myself this whole time. But if what you say is true, why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you? If I did that, and we all worked as one, the mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always the chance that the mastermind is actually one of us.
Correct.
What? Well, don't make too big a deal of it. It's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, we can't ignore it, right? The mastermind. One of us. If she believed that, then of course she couldn't trust anyone around her. In which case, it only makes sense that she'd look into her missing memory by herself. That being said, there was a limit to what I could do by myself. Which is why I asked you to help me. But why me? Because among everyone, you were least likely to be the mastermind. That was just intuition, but... I see. Your intuition was right, though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been the mastermind.
I understand. I should understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
It's just like the dream I had before, but
Listen.
why did that just happen? Are you okay? Oh, yeah. It's nothing. It is nothing, right? Even now, I still trust you, you know? It's just, I'm not used to relying on others. I know I never asked you for help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just her personality. That was a long-ass conversation. I'd better talk to Kyoko. I thought we did that! You said you had a reason for doing all that investigating on your own. So, how'd that turn out? Were you able to remember anything? I think there's still a lot I don't remember. But at the very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose and my ability. You mentioned your ability. My ability. What everyone should have known me for. I'm the ultimate detective. The ultimate detective? And the reason I came to Hope's Peak Academy, there was someone I had to find here in the school. You had to find someone?
So...
Who? Well, it was the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. The headmaster? Why did you want to find the headmaster? Because he's my father. What?
In other words...
I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the headmaster of Hope's Peak. Kyoko's dad is Hope's Peak's headmaster? Then that explains when Alter Ego told us how he thought the headmaster was involved. I'll find a way. Huh? No matter what it takes, I will find the headmaster. No matter the cost. Kyoko? What's going on? My memory hadn't come back at that point, but when he said that, I felt strange. It makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him.
However,
That makes sense. But listen, Makoto, I want to make this perfectly clear so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said what I felt based on what I'd seen when I snuck into the headmaster's room. Then, what did you see in there? The room had been ransacked. The shelves were a mess, the desk drawers jumped on the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything was had been in there. You mean, the mastermind, right? That was my assumption, yes. And to confirm my suspicion, I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I had found. But why there? Because I also found this in the headmaster's room. This is
Indeed.
some kind of map. It's a layout of the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy. I found it in the headmaster's room along with the Mukuro's profile and that key. The map showed that the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for faculty use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time, and I figured the headmaster would have some kind of a private room there. I assumed that if that were true, that room would likely hold more clues,
correct.
so I went to check. And that's when I finally remembered. I remembered that my purpose was to find the owner of that room. So you went there to see if the headmaster really did have a
However-
private room there. But once I got there, I noticed that the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. So, what was it like? That part of the school, I mean. It's hard to describe. All I can say is, the moment I saw it, I realized, whatever's going on in this school is more horrific than we ever imagined.
So,
What do you mean? I can't explain it. You need to see it for yourself, and I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough. It sounds like it must be important, and really ominous. Oh!
However,
Of course, once I got to the second floor of the dorms, which is why I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building. I was so preoccupied with investigating that area, it was unforgivably careless of me.
however,
It has to do with Mukuro
However-
Ikisaba, doesn't it? Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right, but that just means everyone but you and me had an alibi.
anyway.
So then who did kill her? What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Mukuro Ikisaba was to get me killed.
Indeed.
Get you killed? I stole that key and disappeared, and in retaliation, they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me. That was the point of the class trial. It was? The mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly. You mean because
That's
of the
right.
school regulations? Exactly. With minimal restrictions, you are free to explore Hope's Peak Academy at your discretion.
In other words,
The mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it. The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules. That makes it sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the
Hey.
school regulations. There's one other thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba. What's that? There was a point where Mukuro may not have become the victim. It could have been you, Makoto. I could have
Indeed.
become the victim? You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you mean during the night? I can hear them, you know? The footsteps of the god of death. What the fuck? Where did that come from? What? I can hear the god of death as he moves. That ability naturally draws me into cases
Anyway.
just like this, which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell and I saw a white shadow across the corridor. I gave chase right away. As I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room.
Correct.
I ran into your room and I saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However,
That wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to... Whoever the masked assailant was, they ended up dead.
correct.
And their murder was disguised, and the dojo key wound up in my room. And it all has to be the work of the mastermind in an attempt to use the class trial to eliminate me. So all this would mean that whoever killed Mukuro is also the mastermind, right? I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. But that's really bad if true. It means the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Wait, but doesn't that create another contradiction? Their mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try and kill you because they couldn't
Correct.
interfere, right? You're right. That is a contradiction. And it's not just Mukuro. They needed the class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction. So,
In other
what does it all mean? It means that the mastermind is the one who's been cornered.
Makoto.
Huh? Just a little more. A little more and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. The other ultimate despair? There's no doubt that Mukuro was the ultimate despair and that she's dead. But I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person.
Indeed.
It's not? If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused that event.
That's right.
You're talking about what happened a year ago. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy. Whoever's responsible for that, they're the ultimate despair? That despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair.
Indeed.
Then they're... Make no mistake. They're the root of all the evil that has forced us to go through this. That is the ultimate despair. And that is our real enemy. Chapter 5, 100 Mile Dash, Pain of a Junk Food Junkie. The End. Got a rocket. Yes, I would like to save. I'm gonna save there. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this episode. This stream of Danganronpa. If you liked it, make sure to check out everything that's backlogged over on YouTube, where you can find all old videos and convenient little playlists for you to sit back and relax and enjoy. I'm glad we made it through that trial, and it feels like we're really close to the game. Which does just mean we need to make it through one more week before we get back to this to be able to try and finish it out. Obviously the next stream will be a Sunday drive because it'll be Sunday, and then, right? It is Saturday right now, right? Yes. And then after that, the whole next week is going to be Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. So until then, I've been the Soloist. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Danganronpa, and I will see all of you when I see ya. Bye-bye.